What's up, everybody? Chris Fluke here, Chris Fluke Podcast. I'm going to say Season 2, Episode 1 right now, man. I haven't recorded in a while. I was coaching high school football, all of this stuff, all the wheels started falling off in things that are just occurring in normal everyday life that I'm going to share with you in a second here. Because this episode right here is going to be, it's all about perspective. And I'm going to steal a little phrase that a high school girl said. She's like, wow. When I was relaying the story that I'm about to tell you all, when I was telling her this story, she was like, man, you're surprisingly chill. And I was like, I honestly don't know any other way to be right now. We had all kinds of stuff since the summer here, man. I probably talked about it previously. Account gets kind of hacked, right? My information gets out there. There's money missing. Somebody started a fundraiser under my, a processing account. It looks like I did all this damage. I'm like, what the heck's going on? The more that I look into things, the more I unearth all kinds of nonsense and craziness going on. I think I kind of get it resolved. I'm still out a significant chunk of change. I'm still making the phone calls, but the fraud, I guess, so to speak, seems to be coming to an end, right? So then we move on a little bit here. I'm making the phone calls still. I'm trying to get my money back. December 6th is my birthday. I get a phone call about, it's a law office calling me about, basically there was a traffic accident in Florida. Somebody with the name Chris Fluke rented a U-Haul truck, got into an accident. The person on the other end of this accident did not survive. Christopher Fluke, I'll put that in quotes, whoever that person is, took off from the scene. They fled the scene. Now, the problem is that this person used all of my driver's license information, except they exchanged the photo. So they took my photo out and they put their photo in there. They rented a U-Haul. This occurred. Then a few days after that, so a few days after my December 6th, I get another piece of mail saying if I don't return this rental car in Florida, it's going to be reported as stolen. So I contact their security team. They let me know, hey, we figured out it was fraudulent after we sent this piece of mail out. Sorry about that, yada, yada, yada. I let the law office know it was not me. I started this process with the FTC, filing my identity theft and all this other stuff, right? All of this stuff is still going on. This person's still out there on the loose. All right, I'm getting all this going on here. So I had the summer identity theft. I have the summer zoning stuff that I already talked about. Just normal busy schedule, having a young child, trying to get the barn together. Then I get hit with this stuff in December about my somebody basically stealing my identity and doing all of this stuff. I open up the credit report. Then I noticed that there's some hard inquiries on my credit report from the summer. Somebody tried to open up accounts in the summer. Luckily, they weren't able to open it. My credit score seems to be fine. Fill out all the paperwork, freeze your credit, do all this other crap. I mean, if this happened to anybody, just call me because I'll let you know what the procedure is for all this stuff. It took weeks to try to do everything I needed to do, and I still probably have some things that I should do to just protect my stuff. So fast forward now, about a week before Christmas, our daughter here gets another battle of croup, which seems to hit her once a week. Unfortunately, this time we had to go in for breathing treatment. She had to get 2 treatments done, and they only do this in the ER. So we had to go to the ER. And we're in there, and we're like, we've been here before. We just wanted her to feel better. All this other stuff, right? We've had a history of her being sick when she was younger, where it has taken us to all of these places that I don't ever want to go again. We're in this unit getting work done, blood work done, and we're right there, literally in the next hallway over. There's kids getting chemotherapy treatment, right? We're in the sick kid unit. If you ever needed to get smacked in the face and get smacked back to reality, you go into that unit there and it'll wake you up real quick. So we've had all of this stuff in the past. I mean, our daughter was sick before. She had all this inflammatory stuff going on. 5 days in the hospital. Finally got some answers. She's doing better now, but she still occasionally gets this thing called croup, where her little airway kind of gets inflamed and it makes it really hard to breathe, and they get this terrible cough. It usually hits her at nighttime. Typically we'll go outside. We'll let the cool air kind of relax everything. This time it didn't work. Made it to the morning. It progressed and got worse in the morning time, which usually never happens. It happens this time. We're like, screw it. We got to go in. Let's go. So we go in there. We're doing okay. Emmy's getting her treatment done. But down the hall, you hear that baby crying, and you just wonder, you feel sorry for those parents that are in there with a young child, and the baby's crying all night long. And we kind of been down that path before, and we just kind of feel for them, right? So when you talk about the theme here, it's just, the more you experience some of these things, the more surprisingly chill, I guess, you become when all of this happens. But the one thing that I really want to hammer home here is that, the old Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic, has this quote that goes back to, how there's a few ways that we could think about this stuff, right? It's always about our perspective and how we interpret the world and how we think about things. Aurelius said this: how unfortunate this is to happen to me. No, rather, how fortunate this is to happen to me. Someone who could handle whatever is thrown my way. All of this crap just keeps getting sent your way. And I forgot one more piece of it, one more item. After the hospital, we all got COVID, right? So we end the year pretty strong, right? We end the year with COVID-19, kicks us into the new year. We're quarantined, we're locked down. Just to backtrack now, bank account information stolen, zoning issues, credit, hard inquiries on my credit report, stolen identity in Florida, fugitive on the loose. What else is going on here? I don't even know. Croup for my daughter. We're back in the emergency room, spending the night in the hospital. We're getting hit with COVID-19 after the fact. And here we are, trying to make it. Like I think it was Alwyn Cosgrove, the great fitness coach, said, there's never a double winter, right? Spring always comes. It's always darkest before the day. Sam Cooke told us all that change is going to come. And that's what we're looking for in this new year here, right? Everybody's looking for a good, positive change. It always starts in our mindset, right? I'm not looking to share all these stories with you to get like a woe is me tale. Aurelius said it best, kind of bring it on. I'm ready to handle it. I can handle it and I will handle it. And we're going to get into this new year and we're just going to keep chugging along. We're going to take the best road that we could take, get on the right path, hopefully stay on the right path, and hopefully things go well. Now, as we attack this new year, there's a few things I want to keep in mind. I want everybody to kind of focus on their brain, right, and get their minds right. So we got to get up and we got to take care of our minds. We got to get adequate sleep. We have to wake up and we got to do something positive to get that ball rolling. Some people talk about making the bed, cleaning the room, doing the dishes, making your kid lunch, whatever it may be. Start checking boxes off in a positive direction. Don't wake up and sit down and watch the news and hear about all of the mayhem going on in the world, whether it's Joe Biden this or COVID-19 that or Anthony Fauci's CDC, yada, yada, yada. A lot of that stuff is going to be things that don't even matter. And a perfect example of that is these messages. If you look at the messaging, say from the CDC, every 3 months, what are they saying? What are they recommending? That stuff changes so much that you can't even keep track of it anymore. So to get caught up in that day to day, I think you're wasting energy, you're wasting mental focus, you're wasting mental power thinking about stuff like that. Second thing, we got to get our minds right, which I talked about, and then we got to get our bodies right. We all want to live these long, healthy lives. We've got a thing like a virus that just attacked us, right? And it just hit us pretty hard. The best way that we could handle future issues like that is to just get ourselves in the best possible physical condition that we can, right? So we're getting enough sleep, we're waking up, we're exercising our mind a little bit. We're trying to do a little bit of deep thinking. We're not spending all of our days on Instagram and Facebook or watching pointless television, right? We're trying to exercise our mind to become a better thinker, to think deeply upon things, to come up with our own opinions, and not be afraid to challenge, what's being presented to us. We're exercising our bodies. We need to do some cardiovascular training, man. These viruses are wiping us out. These illnesses wipe out our system like that. If we want to live a long, healthy life, we got to take care of our lungs. We got to take care of our heart, right? We got to be strong individuals. 2 or 3 times a week, we got to move some weight. It could be any type of resistance training you want, but I think our goal is going to have to be to get stronger. We got to fight Father Time every day. We're unfortunately one day closer to the grave with every morning that we wake up, right? But we have to fight. We have to push back. Father Time always wins, but we got to do whatever we can in our power here to just fight that person and just try to have a standstill, not to regress and start hitting the downward slide. We got to fight that. We got to fight Father Time and just stay strong and not let it push us down that slope, that long, slippery slope of poor health, right? Exercising the mind, we're exercising the body. We're trying to do things. We're trying to be there for people. We're trying to keep this perspective, right? We're trying to teach the people close to us about this perspective. Not in a simple way where you're lecturing people, but like there's so much awful stuff that goes on in the world. You can see what goes on in North Korea. You can see what's going on in China. We got it good here in America. Yeah, I understand that there's some dark days here, but I think the great stuff. But I think on the whole, right, the stuff that we seem to get caught up in is these some trivial matters that don't necessarily matter on the grand scale. We've never been a more prosperous country on a whole, right? We've got ample amounts of food. we have homes for people for the most part. And I understand these things ebb and flow a little bit like that, but things are good right now. We need to keep that perspective. We need to keep plugging forward. I don't want to have to constantly be reminded, going to that sick kid hospital. I don't want that. I don't want to go there again. I don't want to think about, being a parent in that situation, right? So I got to keep that in mind. And every time that things go wrong, every time I'm sitting in traffic and I'm ready to throw my arms up in frustration, I got to remember things aren't bad, man. I got a vehicle, I got a car, I might be a few minutes late. It's okay. My life is okay. This is not worse off. Everybody, look around. There's 100 cars sitting in the same traffic that you are, right? Your plight is not worse than anybody else's. So enjoy the ride, put on an audio book, listen to a podcast, whatever it may be, but do something positive and do something productive with that time instead of sitting around being upset and whining about it, okay? So, I don't even know. You get into this stuff. You got to spend some time with your loved ones, people that make you happy. Make sure you laugh. Make sure you think. Make sure you exercise your body. Make sure you exercise your mind. Make sure, you keep that perspective. Keep everything in line. Remember what it really is said, man. How fortunate this is to happen to me. It's not unfortunate. Everything that we do, when we look back, in hindsight, we're like, you know what, I'm really glad that happened because I'm a better person. All this crap that's happening to me is just forcing me to be a more responsible human being. Same with being a parent, same with, these relationships. Marisa and I go through some turbulent times, and guess what? We're better off for it at the end of it. All right? In hindsight, we always look back and are thankful for them of those experiences. It's just that in foresight, we don't see that. So we have to remember that one day, once something happens to us, one day we're going to look back on this and be like, you know what, I'm grateful that this happened to me. That's it, man. We got to keep fighting the fight, man. It's a new year. This is 2022 now. Somehow we are well into the 2000s now. I can't believe it. And better days are going to come. Change gonna come. I don't care what it is. Go listen to some Sam Cooke right now. If you want to hear about, tough times, you go back to think about what was going on back in his time, right? That's it, man. Podcast over. Surprisingly Chill, episode 1, season 2 now. All right, we're gonna hopefully get some quick hitters in. I'm going 12 minutes, 20 minutes, 50 minutes. I need to get some guests. I need to get back in that. People I think are starting to get a little more comfortable hanging out with each other. So that's what we're looking for in the new year here, man. Hope you guys like this one. We're back in action. Keep your mind right. Have a great year. Peace, everybody.